On today's episode of Identity, architectural entrepreneur Viwe Gxwala pops by for coffee. We visit Constitution Hill in Johannesburg to learn more about patriotism and active citizenry. What's APPenning features the review of a vocabulary improving app and a website to help you learn a new language. And we wrap up the show with a track from Sketchy Bongo and Shekinah.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Molweni kuni nonke babukeli beMzansi for sure namkelekile kwi-Identity inkqubo yenkolo ezahlukeneyo eza kuninceda niqale ivekeni ngentshiseko. Ndingumsasazi wenu uViwe Gxwala. Today marks the ascension of Baha'u'llah, who was the founder of the Baha'i faith. This day is observed by reading through Baha'u'llah's writings and by better understanding his vision for the world. Although different communities celebrate this day in different ways, the common thread of a spirit of unity and friendship is carried out through feasting and edifying conversations. We wish the Baha'i community a blessed and peaceful celebration. I hope you're ready for 30 minutes of the best in spiritual entertainment. All you have to do is sit back, put your feet up, and indulge in today's serving. For starters, let's meet today's inspirational guest. What do you do when you're a young graduate struggling to secure employment after having finished your studies? Well, if you are Viwe Gxwala, you start your own company. In 2011, after graduating in architectural drafting, this young woman decided that merging her passion for drafting as well as her desire to empower young minds by giving them access to this untapped industry was the best way forward for her. In February of 2012, her company ArchiDraft was born. Talk about determination. She's here to tell us all about her entrepreneurial venture and to shed light on her passion for youth. Viwe, welcome to Identity.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, I just want to start from the top, from the beginning. Tell us about your upbringing.
I grew up in Atteridgeville and Mamelodi in Tshwane. I was raised by a single mother, and I had two siblings, my older brother and my little sister. Growing up was not all fun and games, as I was a very sickly child. I had asthma, so I was always in and out of hospital, but growing up, it was always around family. There was always love, and yeah.
You talk about love with your family. Tell me about your spirituality when you were growing up, and what significant role does it have in your life right now?
You know, we grew up going to church with my siblings, and at that time we were very young, so it felt forced. But growing up, you know, it became a self-decision to go to church. And I feel that as a grown lady right now, it has really placed the foundation for me to be able to just handle and tackle everyday living. Yes.
Okay. So you've got an interesting career choice. You enrolled in interior designing, and then you went to architectural drafting. What made you decide that?
So I had been doing art for 5 years in high school. So what happened was, it felt like a lot of work, and it was straining, you know, growing up, going home to homeworks and a lot of field studying. So I decided that when I go to enroll in college, I would actually be specific about what I wanted.
Okay.
The last thing I wanted was studying something that I wouldn't be happy with long term. So I went to Inscape Design College, asked them about interior design, and the student advisor was very lenient on telling me this is what's going to happen, and I was pretty impressed. Halfway through the year, I just felt like I was back in high school, basically. You know, all the rendering, all the coloring, all the graphic designing, it just felt draining for me. So I dropped out, and within the subjects that I took in interior designing was technical drawing. I was very drawn to it. So I asked the student advisor if there's anything, or any field rather, that links to technical drawing. So she told me about architectural drafting, and yes, I'm here.
When I read the term architectural drafting, I thought to myself, I know what it means to be an architect, but I'm not too sure about architectural drafting. What is it and what does it entail?
Architectural drafting is basically the same thing as architecture. The only difference is the years in which you study. Architectural drafting is a certificate course and it's only a year. So basically shorter time of theory and a lot of practicals. So basically it really prepares you for the working environment. And I had to choose between the two. I went for something that after studying, I can just go into a working industry and just get a job.
Rabethu, tell us about ArchiDraft. What was the idea behind the inception?
It wasn't planned, you know. I had been sending CVs for months and nothing was happening. So I decided I'm going to start my company. What we basically do is we do house plan drawings, we do design drawings, we do council submission, construction, property valuing, and we do project management. So all that was inspired by the fact that when I was done studying, it felt like there was no way in for me. I felt like people were not familiar with the field, so it was really hard for people to take me in or to believe in what it was that I studied.
So when you started your organization, Rabethu, I mean, a lot of young people want to get into entrepreneurship, but they think of things like capital and support from your family. You need that support as well. So how did you do it?
I had a lot of support from my family, but not financial wise. So that gave me the right push, and I was very encouraged to do it. At first, I read about funding and, you know, getting financing from companies that give funding, and I decided that I'm going to have a first phase in the company where I render services, and that money would be used to go to the second phase, which was starting the college.
Okay, so you're very passionate about young people as well, and I mean, it's very important for you to give back to the community. What are the steps that you're taking as a young black female to make young people understand and know and get exposed to architectural drafting?
I believe that having to start the college was a way for me to give back to the black community specifically. When I went to college, I was the only black student in a class of 32. Opening up the college is basically me giving back. I felt that it's a field that people are not really tapped to. So if I gave back to them, then they'd be very exposed, and there wouldn't be situations where there are fly-by-night schools, there are kids hanging around in town and not being educated. So basically the school was going to be me giving back to them and hosting workshops for them to just know more about the field.
But speaking about that, we've got a quick word game for you, and you need to answer this as quickly as possible. Okay, so the name of the game is The Magic If. I'll read out the sentence for you and you answer. Okay. And you answer, all right. Okay, the first question is, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
To disappear.
Okay. If you could only live in one room in your house, what room would it be?
My bedroom.
If you had to live in an African country apart from South Africa, what country would it be?
Ghana.
If you could design a building of your choice, where would you want it to be located?
In Pretoria.
If a movie about your life was being made, which actress would you want to play Rabethu?
Angelina Jolie.
Oh yes, I love it too, Rabethu. Thank you so much, and keep doing good work for the community.
Thank you for having me.
Ngokuqinisekileyo uRabethu ngumcebi wezakhiwo ophuma emagqabini kwaye sinqanela okuhle njengoba eqhubeka ngokuphakamisa amanye amantombazana. It's time for a short break. When we return, we have a special encounter as we hit the road in an effort to learn more about constitutionalism. And don't miss our media review segment, which features an app that will help you improve your English vocabulary and a website that will help you learn a new language. See you in a bit.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Welcome back to Identity. You're still watching your favorite multi-faith youth show right here on SABC 1 Mzansians. I'm Viwe Gxwala. Thank you for staying tuned. This year, South Africa celebrates 20 years of the Constitution, which is an integral part of our democracy. The Identity team recently heard about our commemorative walk taking place on Constitution Hill in Johannesburg, and I was not about to be left behind. So I donned my walking shoes and took to the streets to find out how I can play my part in active citizenry. Take a look.
This is my identity.
On the 18th of December in 1996, President Nelson Mandela signed the new post-apartheid constitution, which took effect from the 4th of February in 1997. Today, I'm on Constitution Hill in Johannesburg to take part in a symbolic walk that focuses on patriotism. Before we hit the streets, let's find out more about this event. Come with me. With me here today is the representative of Constitution Hill, Lebogang Marishani. Lebogang, welcome to Identity.
Thank you, thanks.
I just want to understand the brief history of Constitution Hill. Give us that background.
Well, it used to be a fort that was built in the 1800s and then was converted into a prison that used to hold people like Nelson Mandela, you know, your political prisoners during the apartheid era. It's now a site that safeguards our constitution, issues of human rights, democracy. So that's who we are. We are a beacon for democracy.
Okay, and speaking of democracy, what's the significance of today's event?
Today, really, we can say we're commemorating the 20 years of the Constitution. This is what we are about. We are about celebrating citizenry. We are about celebrating democracy, but also promoting human rights.
Thank you, Lebogang.
Thank you very much.
Well, Mzansi, you've heard it. Let's take to the streets. Come with me. Right now, I'm with Viwe, one of the organizers of the event. I want to find out about the significance and importance of this event. Why specifically this event, and why the name of the event?
Okay, so the name of the event is taken from the preamble of the Constitution. So it begins as we, the people of South Africa, hence we the people walk. Yeah. And it's just basically about educating people about the Constitution, getting them to interact with the preamble, with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, all the contents in the Constitution. It's about patriotism, it's about education.
Tell us about Thando Mzansi campaign. What is it about?
Okay, so Thando Mzansi campaign is about patriotism, it's about active citizenry, it's about also interacting with the national symbols. So what we do is that we encourage that on the first Monday of every month, you hoist the flag, sing the national anthem, and read the preamble to the Constitution. So we want to educate and inculcate the knowledge of the preamble, the knowledge of national symbols, how you handle national symbols, what you do when you're singing the national anthem. You know, you don't just stand anyhow, you take off your hat, you don't put your hand across your chest because that is reserved for the president. So all these things that we need to educate about. So that is Thando Mzansi, something that we're promoting every single month, just once, first Monday of every month. That's all we ask.
So basically you're a young person as well, and I see many young people here as well. Why is it important for them to rally campaigns such as this?
I think it's very important for young people. You know, they're the future generation. So this generation of young people are our future leaders. They are future presidents. They are future CEOs. So they need to be part of these campaigns as they are pushing the message of South Africa. They need to know about, you know, education, their rights of education. They need to know about their rights of equality. They need to know about their rights of the environment. So these are the future leaders, and we want to groom a generation of leaders who are active and they know everything about their own country.
I'm here with Mokhao Motlatwi, the ambassador of We the People event, Konala Identity. What's the importance for you, especially as a young person, to be part of an initiative at Twanange?
It's a great honor to be part of it, and it's just a reminder of to be grateful, you know, of where we come from and where we're going, and to just make South Africa a better place. So I really just hope that the future generations understands the meaning of the Constitution and why it's in place, because it's for the better good of everybody.
Thank you so much, Mokhao.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Why is it important for especially young South Africans to be active participants of our Constitution?
We know we're going to have to lead this country at some point, so we have to start preparing for it, start preparing for your future, start becoming more invested in human rights, start becoming more interested in how people live.
Section 28 of the Constitution outlines the rights of children, and it's only fitting that this event has activities for children. Let's check it out. How important is it for children to understand their Bill of Rights?
Very, very important. One, it protects them. Two, they need to know how people behave towards them and how they need to respect people and the earth. That it's all part of the Bill of Rights.
It means so much to me. Like, I'm so happy to see like all of us gathering together. Abatala, they also need to hear what we have to say. Like, listen to us. We might have a point or an opinion which is important to them.
Kubaluleke kangakanani ukuthi njengentsha yala eMzantsi Afrika ube khona kwingxenye campaign efana nale?
Yeah, I think it's important for people to know that as children we also have a say for the country. As children we also have things to do for the country. I'm here today to learn about the things that I should do in my country as a young child.
What is your hope for the future generation?
We're hoping to see a young, active citizenry that gets involved in the issues of the Constitution. We see the young ones, the youth of today as the future. Therefore, we believe that we need to equip them with the knowledge that's relevant. The Constitution is still seen as intimidating, so this is a place where we unpack the issues in a very engaging way, but also a very light way. We're saying to citizens, this is your Constitution, own it and understand it.
It's been an informative and enlightening day today, and I've learned a lot in terms of our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. I hope you've learned the same too. But for me, on Constitution Hill, it's back to regular programming in the Identity coffee shop.
This is my identity.
Akumandi ukuphila kula maxesha. Kumsebenzi wethu sonke ukuba ngamatsha nhliziyo ngomgaqo siseko lilizwe esiphila kulo. Ndingatsho ndiphinde ukuba ndifunde okuninzi kwaye ndinebhongo ukuhlala kwindawo apho ndingasebenzisa amalungelo am. Enkosi kuqela le-Constitution Hill ngokudibanisa umcimbi onenkcukacha kwaye novula amehlo omntu. How are you playing a part in active citizenry and constitutionalism? Let us know by sending an email to identitytvshow@gmail.com. Lixesha lokuba siyezivenkileni kokugqibela. Xa sibuya singena ngqo kwisiqembu se-WhatsApp yethu namhlanje. Namhlanje sibonisa i-app eza kuninceda ninyuse izinga lokukhumsha kwaye ne-website eza kuninceda nifunde ulwimi olutsha okanye ukunyusa izinga lolwimi olwaziyo. Hlalani nathi, siyabuya kungekudala.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
You're watching Identity right here on your favorite channel, SABC 1 Mzansians. I'm your host, Viwe Gxwala. Uba usanda ungena, uphosiwe. Siqale inkqubo noRea bethu Mabhena, ongusomashishini ongumcebi wezakhiwo. Salibhekisa ezitratweni zaseGauteng, apho khona bendingumsasazi welolanga kwibali lethu lanamhlanje. Lixesha ngoku ile media review yale veki, nanku what's happening. Do you ever find yourself trying to describe something but can't quite find a word that's quite descriptive enough? Or perhaps you've come across a word and had no idea what it means or how to use it? Well, today's app will help you improve your vocabulary and get you well on your way to becoming more eloquent. It's called Culti Words. The Culti Words app was designed to help make the introduction of new words to one's vocabulary that much simpler. To get started, select the Memorize tab. The app then gives you a question with 3 answer options. Select an answer and the app will inform you whether you were wrong or correct via a pop-up with the definition of the word, as well as an interesting anecdote to help memorizing the word more fun. You then have the option to add the word to your dictionary. Select the Review tab for help with memorizing a new word. Identify it correctly 3 times, over 3 days, in 3 different sentences, and you'll have acquired a new word. Check your word acquisition progress by selecting the Dictionary tab. Here you can also find the meaning of your words. Learn how to use different words in context and commit them to memory with the use of the Culti Words app. Now that's definitely one of those apps that I'll be adding to my collection. Come to think of it, I'll be adding this website as well. It's a site designed to help you learn a new language with the help of daily tasks and exercises. French Riviera, here I come. Let's check out www.duolingo.com. www.duolingo.com is a website that offers free language learning courses for 17 of the world's languages such as French, Swedish, Russian, and Norwegian. To get started, select your preferred language via the Get Started tab. Decide how often you'd like to practice by selecting a daily goal. If you already know some basics of your preferred language, select the placement test option to skip past the beginner basics. If you are new to the language, select the Start at the Basics tab. In order to keep track of your information and progress, create a profile and then get started with your first lesson. For some handy grammatical hints and notes, simply scroll down the lesson page. The lessons include pictures to help you learn vocabulary, colors to alert you when you're right or wrong, highlighted text to help with grammar, and audio to help with pronunciation. On completion, the website gives you the option to review the lesson or continue to the next lesson. For a look at some of the words you've learned, select the Words tab. Review previous lessons by selecting the Review Flashcards option. If you are looking to pick up a new language with step-by-step lessons, simply log on to www.duolingo.com today. We've come to the end of today's episode of Identity. We hope that our guest, insert, and reviews have left you inspired and spiritually fulfilled. If you have an uplifting community story to share with us, we're just a click away. Simply send a detailed email to identitytvshow@gmail.com. We're also active on the social media scene. Search for Identity TV Show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Today we play out with a track called Let You Know by Sketchy Bongo featuring Golden Voice songstress Shekinah. From me, Viwe Gxwala, and the Identity team, here's wishing you a beautiful and blessed week ahead. Goodbye.
Now we going up the wrong road, yeah. And I'm just trying to let you go, let you go, let you go. But I don't wanna say no. In the beginning it was all okay, yeah. Anytime, any place, I was with you, loving you, but never trying to smother you. But we keep moving at the same pace, yeah. Always in the same flow, never letting what we had grow. Now we going up the wrong road, yeah. And I'm just trying to let you go, let you go.